are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Navin Nirad Prabhu, who was a very senior devotee in ISKCON. He has joined ISKCON in 1984 in Zurich, Switzerland, and so he joined at the age of 15 years, and he became very soon the world's top book distributors, and very soon after that he became ISKCON's Minister for Book Distribution for many years, and he has been traveling throughout the globe many times, training devotees in doing this very important service in Srila Prabhupada's mission, that's book distribution. And I'm sure those of you who have been to Mayapur, you may have seen the Vaishnav Academy, right, which is just opposite the Goshala. So Prabhuji is very instrumental in building that Vaishnav Academy, is directing that, and many courses, educational programs take place over there in the Vaishnav Academy. And he has been doing these various courses on book distribution and training devotees, not only in book distribution, but as you'll see, so the course also will teach many management principles, how to manage book distribution. So Prabhuji has been very actively training devotees in these various aspects, and Navin Nirad Prabhu has very mercifully been coming for the ISKCON Lead Seminar right from the beginning. Every time whenever we have the Lead Seminar, Prabhuji comes to train the devotees, and he currently also has a spiritual center in San Francisco where he's preaching over there. So we're very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Navin Nirad Prabhu. We're very grateful to you that you've taken out your time to come over here and train the devotees in this very important service. Let's show appreciation and gratitude to Navin Nirad Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu. Yeah, we'll do that. It's always a pleasure to be here in ISKCON Pune. So it's like a classic. Happy to see all of you. Some familiar faces, some new ones. Maybe we can go around the room and people just quickly introduce themselves, tell your name, where you're from, and then your expectation of the course, we'll put that in the break at 12 noon before you head out or before you do Gayatri. You can just write one expectation, and if it has already been mentioned, come up with something else, okay? Your expectation of this course. Okay, got it? So we'll start over here. Just name and where you're from.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Das Raghunath Das. I am from ISKCON East of Kailash, New Delhi.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Kripalu Madhav Das. I am ISKCON Faridabad,
Faridabad. Hare
near
Krishna.
Delhi.
Yes. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Bali Swarup Das from ISKCON Chandigarh.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Vaishnava Priya Gorang Das from ISKCON Chandigarh.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Radharaman Devdas from ISKCON Chandigarh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
He was fast.
Namaste Das from ISKCON Gurugram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Vishnu Gaurdas from ISKCON Ghaziabad.
Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am Anand Keshav Das from ISKCON Srinagar, Uttarakhand.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am Satya Sankarshan Das from ISKCON Prayagraj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I am Dhanya Gopal Das from ISKCON Tirupati.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Mohan Syam Das from ISKCON East of Kailash, New Delhi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am Sachinandan Haridas from ISKCON Attapur, Hyderabad.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Dhananjay Jagannath Das, ISKCON Ghaziabad.
Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Sachinandan Prem Das, ISKCON Sahibabad, Ghaziabad.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Krishna Kumar Das from ISKCON Chandigarh.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pundarik Vidyanidhi Das, ISKCON Noida.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Vasudev Jeevan Das, ISKCON Faridabad.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ved Chaitanya Das from ISKCON Dwarka, Delhi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Kirti Gopal Das, ISKCON Tirupati.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tarun Mohan Das, ISKCON Hyderabad.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Ji. Raj Krishna Das from ISKCON Sheshadipuram, Bangalore.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Roop Sanatan Das from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shri Karta Das from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh,
Haribol.
Delhi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Radha Kunda Das from ISKCON Noida.
Haribol.
Sundarvar Das from ISKCON Pune.
Haribol.
Shyam Gopal Das from ISKCON Noida.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Padma Mali Das, ISKCON Pandharpur.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Myself Janava Abadut Das from ISKCON Delhi, East of Kailas.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Sundar Gopal Das. I'm from ISKCON Vapi, Gujarat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ame Krishna Das, ISKCON Kanpur.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Paramatma Chaitya Guru Das from ISKCON Faridabad.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Jay Dwarka Das from ISKCON Dwarka, Delhi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am Achyut Mohan Das from ISKCON Varanasi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sahasranam Das from ISKCON Arode.
Aravade.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Akhil Bandhu Gopal Das from ISKCON Indore.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Madhav Seva Das, ISKCON NVCC, Pune.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Tapovan Haridas from ISKCON Mira Road.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Sri Sudama Das from ISKCON Bhivandi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Gopal Champu Das, ISKCON Pune.
Which place?
ISKCON Pune, this temple,
Pune.
NVCC.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Vrajajana Ranjan Das from ISKCON Jhansi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sanatan Dharmadas, ISKCON Pune Camp.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dinanath Gopal Das from ISKCON Kanpur.
Welcome.
Arjun Ishwar Das, ISKCON Pune.
Hare Krishna. Did any one of you take the Bhakti Sibhushan course before? Yeah. Yeah, if you look familiar. That's okay. Just don't tell them all the jokes and all the, Okay? Om Ajnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamhayam Dadhati Swapadantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande Sri Gurudinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Can you get that one video ready? Prabhupada's clips? Hare Krishna. So till the video is ready, we'll just read a letter of Prabhupada. You just had a course on deity worship, right? Did he tell you that Prabhupada once told Jananivas Prabhu, and he shared this with us in the Bhaktivedanta course in Mayapur, that if you do deity worship, normally it takes 3 lifetimes to go back home, back to Godhead. You know Bharat Maharaj? 3 lives, right? Huh? But he said that if you do deity worship, you can go back in 1 life. You know why? Because you're already trained up. You're already trained. You already know what to do. This is a letter from Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says, formerly there was no press. These important Shastras, Vedic literature, were kept in handwriting. I copy from your book. My other friend copies from my book. In this way, those who were interested. The literatures were not so cheap. Only highly qualified Brahmins used to keep handwritten books. And it was worshipped in the temple as a deity, Shastra. Not that it is available everywhere. Now the press has made it cheaper, but we should always understand that Grantha, or the scripture, should be worshipped as God. It is the sound incarnation of God. It should not be neglected. Don't neglect Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam as ordinary books. You must be very careful. As you take care of the deities, you should take care of the books also. This is a letter from Srila Prabhupada. Yes, please show that.
So we have to see and so that is success. That is practical. So we have to simply take instruction from Guru, and if we execute that to our heart and soul, that is success. That is practical. I have no personal qualification, but I simply try to satisfy my Guru. That's all. My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So, there was a private meeting talking. Some of my important God brothers also there. It was in Radha Kunda. So, Guru Maharaj was speaking to me that since we have got this Bhagavajar and marble temple, there has been so many dissensions. And everyone is thinking, we'll occupy this room or that room, that. I wish therefore to sell this temple and the marble and print some book. Yes. So I took up this from his mouth, that he is very fond of books. And he told me personally that if you get some money, print books. Therefore I am stressing on this point. Where is book, where is book, where is book? So kindly help me. This is my request. Print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. Then Krishna consciousness movement will automatically increase.
All right. So, we have 5 days, and today we're going to focus on Sambandha Gyan, We're not going to teach you how to distribute books, but it's all about Sambandha Gyan. Then the next 3 days will be Abhideya, the process, skills, techniques, and standards, challenges, organization, and then day 5, follow up, making devotees, and where do we go from here? Now, on Thursday, which is day 4, in the evening, we'll also go on Harinam Sankirtan at 6 o'clock and do Harinam and book distribution. That sounds very inspiring. Are you inspired to go on Harinam? I'm not really convinced. Breakfast was that bad or what? Huh? You didn't like the uttapam? It was good, right? It was nice. Huh? You should feel excited. Huh? So I think you did the norms already before because everyone's doing the same thing. So I'm not going to have you read out this because you already done it. Okay, so before, this is for later. Where you can switch off the thing? Can I do it here or no? Okay, so you have to do it. All right, so you can just switch it off for now. So we have Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. What is the fourth one? Jiva Goswami says there is a fourth one. What's the fourth one? Sambandha is knowledge about identity and relationship. Abhideya is the process of interaction. And Prayojana is the goal. What is the fourth one? Warm, close, but not quite. What else? What else is important? You may know all about Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, but you may still not be successful. Why? Why would you not be successful? Sampradaya is missing. Okay. What else? Huh? You heard of Adhikar? Huh? I was in Udupi in front of Krishna Mat distributing Prabhupada's books, and there was a Pandit with big tilak, sika, mala, big upanayan, dhoti and chadar and big books, and he had 12 disciples, and he was walking. And I stopped him and I gave him a small book of Prabhupada. And he looked at me and he said, "What is your qualification?" Now, if somebody asks you what is your qualification, that can mean what is your sampradaya, that can mean what's your academic background, that can mean what's your family lineage. I knew whatever I'm going to say, he's not going to like it. You know those situations? So what do you say when you don't know what to say? Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't know how to respond? Huh? 5 people said yes. Okay. Everybody else has figured it out. This is a good class. I knew it was worth it coming here to Pune. Huh? What do you say when you don't know what to say? What does Hare Krishna mean? It means, Krishna, I need help right now. I need a miracle right now. I'm willing to trade all my bhakti points. You know, you get bhakti points for going to Mangalarti and, you know, being on time for the class. And by the way, we didn't do norms, but we have a saying, if you can't be on time, at least be early, okay? If you can't be on time, at least be early, all right? You can write that down. Because Prabhupada said to remember means to write it down. Anything that you hear that you like or that you particularly dislike, write it down, okay? In this way you'll remember it. So, I didn't know what to say. So when you don't know what to say, you say, Krishna, I need a miracle right now. If I've ever chanted your name, if I ever done anything, please take all that Sukriti and give it to this person right now because he needs it. And somehow this line came to my mind and I said, Gopi Bharta Parakamalayor Dasa Dasa Nudasa. And you know the meaning. And he started to smile. And he reached, and he was a healthy guy, you know, like really healthy guy. So he reached into his dhoti and he took out 10 rupees and he handed me 10 rupees. And he said, good boy, keep on, you're doing good work, it's okay. And he walked off with his books and one of Prabhupada's books and his disciples. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Most of them will never know that you exist. Most of them are outside of our reach. They're geographically, educationally, psychologically, it's hard to connect. Have you noticed? Because people are on their own mindset, going in their own directions. But Krishna can connect with anybody because he's right there. He's in the heart of every living entity. Huh? So the fourth one is adhikar. Adhikar. Huh? Adhikar means your qualification or your attitude. Srila Prabhupada writes in several places, but especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that your progress in bhakti depends on the attitude of the practitioner. In English, we say attitude is everything. My Guru Maharaj asked me in 2015 in New York, in the Bhakti Center, to go to New York, to go to San Francisco to open a center. I asked him why. Now I know most of you never ask why, but I do. So he said, because San Francisco is a very important city, it's the second temple that we ever had in ISKCON, and a lot of devotees came from there, and we didn't have a center there for the last 30 years plus. And you will learn humility. No, he said, and you will learn patience. Huh? And I said, patience? Me? You're joking, right? And we both laughed. We both had a good laugh. So, adhikar, your attitude, that is what determines your progress in devotional service. So we're not here to teach you a few tricks, how to distribute a few books, or how to get other people to distribute a few books. We're teaching you here how to develop the right attitude in which you can transform people's lives and assist them in transforming other people's lives. In San Francisco, there's a lot of technology. You know, we have 5 lakh deshis in the Bay Area, 500,000 Indians working in IT in the Bay Area, all making between 1 and 3 crores a year. So, and I talk to recruiters pretty much every week because I meet them on the street, and they say, you know, you can train people any technological skill in 3 months. That's all it takes, 3 months. You can learn coding, design, management, all that stuff. But attitude, that takes years. No, that takes decades. In other words, if you didn't learn it from mom, it's going to hurt. It's going to take a long time. So we're here to learn the right attitude, to learn adhikar. Because skills, how to distribute books, it's not so difficult. We get more into that a little later on. Now, let me get out the other one. This is Plan B. Okay? If ever you do presentations, always bring your own stuff, okay? Because you can't count on the local equipment. Because Krishna has a way of keeping his devotees humble and on their toes. Have you noticed? And anything can and will go wrong. So always bring your own tech support so that you can actually do what you need to do. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Why is, no, I'm good with this one. Oh, this is better for recording. Yeah, I don't mind, as long as it works. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Why? Boom. Why is why not the first question? Project management, you have to have your sequence right. You know, shoot, think, aim. What is wrong with that sequence? First you shoot, right? Then you think, and then you aim. No? No? What? I was waiting for that sound. Whenever I hear that sound, I know I'm back in India. Haribol! I really miss those microphones that electrocute you, you know? Like you touch it with the lip and it goes... And you feel ecstatic, you know, it's like your sikha stands on end and... I know, I'm back. For me, this is nostalgia, you know, but I have to get down because I feel too elevated, you know? It's good to stay grounded, otherwise you can fall down. Your sequencing has to be right. Huh? Did you ever do the wrong homework? Has it ever happened to you? Did you ever fight the wrong battle? Bark up the wrong tree? Sat in the wrong classroom? We've all done this stuff, right? And it's kind of funny, but then it's kind of annoying also because it's not really productive. Okay? So do yourself a favor, you have to get your sequencing right. Huh? And that means as project leaders, first thing you have to know, what is the project? What are we trying to do here? So spend sufficient amount of time defining what is the project. Huh? And what are the objectives of the project? What are we trying to achieve? That's what we're going to discuss today, before we do anything else. Okay? Then why? Is why the next one? No. What's the next one? Huh? No. 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 In the West, you start with I, me, and mine. But in Vedic epistemology, you start with Ishwar. You start with the top, with the Lord. What is our object? Who we're trying to please? Krishna. Then comes, no. No. I'll help you. Okay. This was there, then. This, what's next? Why is why the next? Sorry, this seems like basic stuff, but you know, if you make a little mistake in your mathematical calculation, any engineers here? Huh? Have you ever done a little mistake in your mathematical calculation at the beginning and everything just was, you know, throw out, complete waste of time? Okay. Why is why the next question? What does why define? Purpose. No, person comes later. Purpose. Purpose means objective. What is our goal? Where are we going? You're leaders. To be a leader means We'll get to that later on, but just to give you a little sneak preview, because this course was actually designed by the Vaishnava Training and Education, VTE. Have you heard of those? There's 30 devotees, and we got together and we designed the teacher training course and a whole bunch of other courses. So this is one of the first courses that's been designed. More than 6,000 or 7,000 devotees have taken it. Now it's online. A couple of thousand have taken it online. It's probably the longest running course in ISKCON that most people have taken so far. And why am I telling you this? Why? Because the objective, the purpose, has to be defined. And if you don't define the purpose, you're not really going anywhere. So that has to be clear. What are your objectives? Okay? What are you trying to achieve here? Okay, so why? Then, how, with its subcategories, when, where, and who, this is all coming here, you know. You can start with the people. Actually, yeah, this should be A. This should be B and C. But that's not so. These are the broad categories, okay? So be clear on those in any project that you do. And you will have more success. You will have more traction. You know traction? Otherwise you, but you have no traction. You're not going anywhere because there's no real grit. Okay, so what are we trying to do? What are we trying to do these 5 days here? Learn the right attitude? Okay. Attitude for what? What do you want to accomplish? Book distribution? Are we a movement of booksellers? Is that what we are? Some people think, right? ISKCON does those guys who run around everywhere, right? They push books. Is that what we are? Preaching, serving, what else? Vaishnava. It's not an easy thing to be a Vaishnava. It's not enough to dress up and to act the part. You've seen many who have the looks, but not there. Please, spiritual master, what's the most important verse in all the Vedic literatures? Yasya deve parabhaktirita deve tatha gurau tasyaita katita yarta prakashante mahatmana. If you please your predecessor acharyas, then the zip file becomes unzipped in your heart. And you just get completely mesmerized by Krishna's wonderful potency. Huh? That's what we want, right? Okay. So, when we did this course, it was meant to be 6 hours a day, 5 days, 30 hours, but the schedule says 2 hours in the afternoon. So some things are going to be a little bit truncated. You know what truncated means? You shrink it. You shrink it to fit the size of and the time that you have. Now, we designed an introductory 3-day course. This is the 5-day graduate course that you are taking. And then there's a 5-day leadership course for Sankirtan leaders and temple president. And now, because people don't show up for 3 courses, we truncated 3 courses into 1. And you get 3 for 1. Do you like that? Huh? Because I knew you're not going to show up for all the 3. So you get 3 in 1. Huh? Anyway, they're all based on the graduate course, so it's all good. But depending on the audience, we teach it in slightly different variations, different pitch. Some people are completely new at this. We teach this course to congregational members who you know, they have to figure out what's up and down. And then you have devotees who have been around for 10 plus years, and they're more trying to see, okay, how can I increase my outreach? How can I build my congregation? How can I empower my teams? It's different angle, same topic, but different angle. Okay? So giving justice to this audience, we will focus more on leadership, on empowerment, on succession, on how to expand the mission, and on follow-up. Because to teach you how to distribute books, it's not so difficult. Honestly speaking, it's not so difficult. You just have to get people to like you. I know that sounds a little spectacular or a little superficial, but it's a fact. I was a few days ago in Mumbai, and with Sadbuj Prabhu, my old friend, we went out to Mumbai Central train station, and it was rush hour traffic, 6 o'clock. You know when people go home? Tasmade ke namanasa. They have one pointed intelligence. They're dridhabrata, right? Don't miss the train, get home. I'm tired, everybody else get out of the way. And we were there chanting, and people were just kind of keeping their head down and just walking, like sheep, And I tried every trick in the book to try to distribute books, and nothing worked. Has that ever happened to you? So you know how I felt, right? Yeah? I mean, I've been a good boy. I did Mangalarti, I went to Bhagavatam, I did Guru Puja, I did everything right. But nothing was working. You know that kind of scenario. And then, what do you do? What do you do when you don't know what to do? Krishna, I need a miracle, right now. Because I don't like to suffer. I mean, especially, if it's productive, I don't mind, but this is not very productive. So I just walked up to people and I said, Apna naam kya hai? Apna naam kya hai? Apna naam kya hai? Believe it or not, everybody responded. They all wanted to tell the big tall white guy with the big nose what their name was. And then I said, Amar naam Naveen. And you're such and such. That's wonderful. This is for you. You make it really personal. You make it really friendly. Then they can't just drop the ball and walk away. It's too late. It's too late because they already have what? There's already sambandha. There is already a relationship established. Okay? If you don't establish relationship, and not just with the people on the street, but also with your team, with your congregation, if there is no sambandha, there won't be good abhideya. There won't be good interaction. And you won't reach prayojana. So, invest time into this. All right, we have a few more things to do here. And we're getting back on the... Everything we do in life is built on essential foundational things. So, like for instance here, we have what is this? It's a house. Very good. You're a good class. Now, did you know that when you build a house, what is this? Did you know that 20% of the cost of your project goes into the foundation? Did you know that? Any structural engineers? Any guys in construction? Architects, builders? No? All technology and mechanical and all that stuff. Okay. Anyway. So, if you don't have a strong foundation, your buildings will look like some of the buildings in Gaurnagar. Have you been in Gaurnagar, in Mayapur? Yeah? You have seen? Some of them are like that tower in Pisa, like this. Like little scary neighborhood, right? It's not a matter of if, it's only a question of when. There will be earthquakes, there will be tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. There will be trouble, even in paradise. So if your foundation is not strong, all of this will not last. It will just disintegrate. So today we speak about foundational principles, and we're going to principles and values because, pardon me? Yeah, that's a good idea. If they can just pass them around, just hand them a few stacks, and then they can pass them around. So when we designed this course, we brainstormed all the different things that we found were important to this topic of book distribution, preaching, outreach, making devotees, etc. And then we tried to distill it. You know, distill, like when you make essential oils, you distill the essence. And those are principles. A principle is something that never changes. Tell me a principle, any principle. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, that is a principle. That is non-negotiable. What would be the principle? You said 16 rounds, but what would be the principle in what you said? Chanting the holy name. The holy name, that is a principle. Yeah, that's a principle. We're eternal servants of Krishna. That's never going to change. Now, how that expresses itself, what kind of seva you do, is that a principle? That's a detail. Most problems in management come, or in life, when we take details to be principles and principles to be details. Like some people are really obsessed with aesthetics, with externals, you know. But then they forget all about the principle, about, you know, what is foundational. Why are we doing this? So, if you run into problems, do you ever run in problems? Personally, or in your service, or in your management? No, you don't have problems, right? You're all just in bliss mode, right? You're just ecstatic. That's nice. But if you ever were to run into problem, ask yourself the question, what is the principle here in this scenario? And that will give you a good indicator. What is wrong? Okay? So ask the question, what is the principle in this situation? And what is the detail? The detail always adapts. The detail is always a variable. But if you understand the principle, the foundational value, then you have actually solved the problem. Okay? We'll give you more case details on that. So you have here 10 effective. Book distribution is based on these principles and values. And this is the foundational stuff. So this is what we're going to base on for the rest of the next 40 minutes. And they're unpacked and explained. Which page is this in your student handbook? Okay, turn the page because they're unpacked and explained. I'm not going to make you read them because I know you know how to read. But in some of the courses, you already went into this, right? Did you? Did you have some exposure to things like that? No? You did? Okay. All right. We have somebody read it out, and you can meditate on it while the person is reading. Anybody, just read out loud.
Long-term vision. The long-term results of book distribution are more important than short-term benefits. Interaction with the public at the cost of society's reputation is therefore counterproductive.
Can anybody tell me a short example of where this principle was followed and it created a positive effect? We need another mic. Do we have? We got 4 mics. Okay. This is like India, you know, you have 4 shipping regions, you know. We got northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast, okay? So we need one in each section.
So long-term vision we can see from the life of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. he envisioned like his spiritual master told him to preach in English language to the Western countries. So it took time.
How long time did it take?
40 years. 40
He met his Gurudev when? 1922. Got initiated 33. Started back to Godhead in 44. What happened in 55? Vanaprasths. Huh?
And then in 65 he went to
65 he went, 66 ISKCON got incorporated. It's a long time. So he had long-term vision. And that's why he achieved. Because he was not just thinking about short-term gain, short-term profit. Thank you. Any example where this was neglected and where we ran into trouble? Yes. You got to use the mic, otherwise you don't get bhakti points. Remember, bhakti points are important because you can trade them in for miracles.
I heard, Prabhuji, that in the West, at one point of time, ISKCON book distribution was like highly condemned and kind of banned from the society because they said by hook or by crook, some.
Yeah, thank you. In different countries, the movement ran into severe difficulties because the way how it was done was not proper, and the government banned us from the streets. They put people in jail, they fined us. Some places ISKCON is banned still, like Singapore. You know who banned ISKCON in Singapore? Yes, our dear Tamil friends from Singapore. They're the ones who did not allow Prabhupada to enter the country. Why? Anybody knows why? Because the first devotees who went there were taking full frontal approach and really went after demigod worship and really upset the local Hindus. And we got banned. And we're still banned there. So don't go in Dodi and try to get into Singapore. Okay? All right. Good. Somebody can read out this?
The book distributor, the second one, customer care. The book distributor should endeavor to make every exchange with the public a positive experience, thus cultivating a favorable environment for continued book distribution and other preaching activities.
Again, positive, customer care. Any good example? You know, example speaks loud, so any example? Yes.
I had this experience many times, and many of us might have had this. Some people, while distributing books, when we ask for when we say a little only about donation, they give huge amount like 2,000, 10,000 rupees. So, and when we see actually when we get into the details, they explain that actually I met one of your devotee at some other place, and he was so nice, and I was very much inspired to see. So,
Has this ever happened to you? Sometimes I distribute books and some people just walk up to me and hand me money. And I'm like, for what? And they just take the book and walk away. I'm like, hey, I want to preach. I want to tell you my little story. They say, no, the other guy already told me everything. You like that, right? Like people just walking up to you, handing you money? It's nice, right? Sometimes you do all the work and somebody else collects the fruit. Is that okay with you? Huh? Is that okay?
Although like emotionally and at that time it is it is very discouraging, but yes, ultimately on a spiritual platform, convincing myself philosophically, then it says like, okay, he has taken the book at least.
Eventually, yes. You see, the natives, you heard of the American natives? Yeah, also called American Indians. They had a saying, 7 generations. Anything you do, you have to think of 7 generations. What will be the impact for 7 generations? What you're doing right now will impact 7 generations. In other words, if you are looking for short-term results, then you better sell peanuts or cucumbers next to the bus stand. Because you'll have a lot of customers, you know. There's a lot of people buying. But you'll get coins. You'll not get much. If you want to do things of magnitude, You have to plant trees whose fruits you will never eat. You have to invest into future generations. Huh? Those are principles. So if you want to do something huge, you have to plant seeds. You have to invest into foundation, into team building. And you're not going to be the one who's going to live in that big Adbhut Mandir. That's going to be future generations. I don't know, many of you have seen pictures of the Vatican or some of these big cathedrals and domes. Some of these temples also in India took hundreds of years to build. So the people who were building them, they never saw them opened. They never lived in them. They were never there for the big Mahotsava. But they were there for the Seva. And they were part of the experience. In fact, they're the ones who created it. Huh? So, right now, some of us are getting older. Some of you are still fairly young in life and in Krishna consciousness. So on day 5, we'll talk a lot more about that, succession, empowerment, etc. But I know many of you have projects and you've got a lot of messages. You have a lot of people who ask you stuff, and you know, the world has to go on. The proof of your leadership is what happens when you're not there. You can write that down. The proof of your leadership is what happens when you're not there. Like I was asked to open a center in San Francisco. I went and I did it. I walked the streets. I met people at the Shibita Books. We started out in yoga studios and in homes and in parks. And I invited devotees, and many came and many left and some stayed. And now there's a center and there's a team and it's running. And it's running better when I'm not there. So I can be here with you. And that's really nice. Why? Because those devotees do better than I could ever do. That's your job as a leader, is to find people who are smarter, who are more patient, who are more determined, who are more accomplished, and you get them to work together. And it will be your credit. And then you go off and you do what you have to do. Huh? How about that? You like that? Doesn't sound very convincing. Huh? You want to be there, right? With all the keys, huh? And all the bank cards, and all the signatures. And then you start losing hair, and you start getting bad digestion, and your health goes down, and you realize, maybe I'm not meant for this. Let's face it, look at yourself. Most of you are Brahminical types. So you're not meant to do the heavy duty management, the heavy lifting. There are other people who can do that. Huh? Leadership means one thing, first and foremost, that is vision. Vision. What's the goal? How do we get there? And how do we inspire others to go there? Huh? For that, you have to have a clear head. You can't be compromised by the modes of material nature. We get more into that later on. Number 3. Anybody? Or someone?
Devotee welfare. ISKCON nurtures the spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional development of each book distributor by looking after their individual needs and providing them with realistic prospects.
Any positive examples of this? Have you experienced in your own life devotee welfare? Somebody who took care of you, and you're grateful for that. Anyone? Yeah, tell us. Microphone, otherwise no bhakti points.
When we are sick, actually not productive, but the guidance and help as well as encouragement that we have received there, then it actually goes deep. Then later on when you will contribute much more than what your capacities.
But sick people are not productive. Shouldn't we just send them home to their parents?
One day they will become healthy. They have already contributed so much.
Because if you send them home, they may not come back. Right? If You see, everybody can be treated either as a asset or as a liability. You know the difference between the two? Asset, liability? You done some of that stuff in school? Now, would you rather be seen as a liability or as an asset? Now, if they treat you like a liability, what will you do? You go to a place where you're treated as an asset, right? Very simple. Like if you start feeling that you're a burden, that you're not wanted, that you're just trouble, then you go somewhere where people say, hey, so nice that you're here. That's wonderful. Huh? So this thing goes deep because do people get sick? Do devotees get sick? Do they get old? Do they die? Hey, this is a good group. I knew it. Yeah, so, and when crisis hits, that's when you really see what the true colors are. Then that's when you see what's really going on when crisis hits. Huh? So this is the test. Any example of when this was neglected and we ran into trouble? The biggest difficulties that ISKCON has faced were from people who were inside the institution and we failed to train them properly, take care of them properly, to guide them and nurture them properly, and they've turned somewhere hostile. Would you agree? It's the biggest obstacle, the biggest pain, the biggest headache that has been produced was self-inflicted. Huh? It wasn't from the outside. Because from the outside you can't finish ISKCON. From the inside. We didn't do our homework, and then people turned very, very negative. So do your due diligence, or else it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you tenfold. Now, this is all deep stuff. Please read this. This is part of your homework to go deeper into this and, meditate on this. These are all sutras, and they can be unpacked. I could ask you, write an essay, 500 words. That's 3 pages. We did that in Bhakti-Vaibhava and Bhaktivedanta. Write an essay on devotee welfare. But there are courses, there are entire courses on these principles. Please try to take them. It's essential. Because you will learn a lot of things that right now, for some of you, may be music of the future, or may just be Chinese, but this is essential, foundational stuff that you will need. You may say, I'm a simple brahmachari, I just do morning program, I chant Hare Krishna, I have prasad, everything's fine. But if you're a project leader, you're dealing with congregation, you're dealing with a bigger picture. And that means vision. You have to expand your vision. Otherwise, you have a lot of blind spots. You have a lot of blind areas where trouble will automatically start. Someone, number 4?
Accurate representation. Members of the public evaluate ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna on the basis of their personal contact with devotees.
Any example where this was followed? The mics have to pass a little faster. Whoever has a mic has to look where a hand is up.
So, Prabhuji, when there was case in US regarding ISKCON being a bona fide organization or not, so the judge judge called one of his friends who had a very positive picture regarding ISKCON in his mind. So when he told the judge that no, these people are good, so in his judgment he established ISKCON as a bona fide organization.
Okay, thank you. Also, Prabhupada said when that brainwash case, that was going on, he said, bring all the books, give all the books to the... And same day, judge dismissed the case. He said, out. Not going to even get into it. This is a religion, And he just dismissed the whole thing. Accurate representation. Do we have problem with this sometimes? Yes? Even in India? We have, right? It's possible. So we have to train our people how to represent, what to tell people, how to... I remember first time I went out to distribute books, I was 15 years old. And, you know, back in the day, you came first day, they gave you saffron and, you know, you get really excited. Utsahamai, you know. I went out running around and I told people, I'm a monk. And they looked at me and they said, does your mother know that you're here? I mean, I'm 15 years old, you know. I mean, I was tall, but I was a young kid. So make sure that your representatives, they know who they are and they know how to present themselves. Huh? Then later on, I said, okay, I'm a student. I'm studying to be a monk. And they said, yeah, that's okay. I accept that. That sounds more reasonable. Then when you have congregational members, they can say, I'm working in such and such job, but I'm a volunteer with ISKCON. I'm a volunteer with ISKCON. People, wow, you're a volunteer. Okay, that's nice. So you're just doing this like as, yeah, Seva, you know? Like Seva, you heard of Seva? And people are like, what, people are still doing this? You know, like, really? Yeah. Huh? So, it's important. Next.
Ideal character. All book distributors are expected to display ideal character and to interact with the public with politeness and respect.
Good example of that? Have you met somebody who was happy that he met a book distributor? Have you met people who were happy?
Yes.
Sounds very convincing. Of course, you all have met people, right? Hopefully. It's important. Have you met people who were upset? Oh, that was very convincing. So would you agree that we should invest a little bit of time and energy in training our representatives, our frontline people? Like if you would have a store or a hotel or a restaurant, would you train your staff? You sure? But you'd waste so much time and energy doing that. Why not just make them work? You know, when I was the Minister of Book Distribution back in the day, in 91, I was #1 in the world after 7 years. I started in 84. In 91, I was #1. Harikesh, then Maharaj, he called me and he said, come to Mayapur next day. I said, why? He said, we made you the Minister of Book Distribution. So I flew there. Then I asked him, so what's my job description? What do I have to do? He said, we don't have job descriptions, you know, we're not that evolved yet. But don't worry, you're already doing it. So just keep doing, okay? And anybody gives you trouble, send them to me. I'll take care of them. I said, okay, deal. We got a deal. And we had 10 good years doing that. So then we devised these courses, and then I was sitting on the GBC, little me, with all the big sadhus, and we made it mandatory. This 5-day course is mandatory for every full-time book distributor by GBC law. And we had a lot of objections. People were saying, you want to take people 1 week off of book distribution to have them sit in a classroom and hear theory while they could be out there distributing books, making money? I said, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we had a good little argument, but somehow by Krishna's mercy we won, and the course got accredited and approved, and it passed. So I don't have to convince you why education is important, right? Otherwise you end up with child labor, right? Why send people to school? Why not just send them to work, right? I mean, why we have all these classrooms here? These people could be more productive, isn't it? Don't you agree? No, they should go to school, right? Yeah. And that's why we also should go to school regularly. My father was a headmaster of a government school, and even at 60 plus, every year for 2 weeks he had to go for training. He had been in his job for more than 40 years. He had a school of over 1,000 students. He was managing 60 plus teachers. Every year for 2 weeks he had to go for additional training. Because otherwise you can't do this job. So if you want to be a leader in ISKCON, get used to the idea that it's not over just with I-leads, it's not just over with Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta. This is ongoing. Nityam. This is ongoing. Huh? So, character. You can train skills in 3 months. Character takes a long time. Now, you teach people the right kind of behaviors, they develop the right skills, the right mindset, then that develops good habits, and habits builds character, and character is what a person is known by. Well, next.
Honesty.
Someone. Yes.
Devotees should be scrupulously honest in all their dealings with the public.
Any good examples of this? Behind you.
One devotee purchased a ticket in the counter, and that ticket counter, and the person at the ticket counter gave 200 rupees more. So devotee returned back that Lakshmi. So that created a very positive impression.
Okay. Thank you. Any negative experience in this? One time I was exporting books from Switzerland to Germany, and there is a tax that you have to pay. But I thought, why give the demons money, you know? Why give the demons money? They're just going to do bad things with it. So I just was hiding those custom papers, and I just tried to pass through. They took me out. They saw the van was full of books, and even worse than that, they found the custom papers, which means this is the smoking gun, which means I knew I couldn't play innocent. I had filled out custom papers there, but I was trying to avoid paying the tax. They took me into the office, and 4 guys were grilling me. They wanted to call the temple. They wanted to get really on my case. And I just had to eat a lot of that sugarless vegan humble pie, you know, that and apologize and pay the fine and learn the lesson that you have to pay your dues. Don't try to cut corners. Don't try to cheat the system, because on the long run, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. A few thousand rupees. Just do things right. Huh? Now, when we're young and enthusiastic, we think, yeah, I can bend the rules. I can somehow make it work. Huh? And it may work 9 times. It may work 99 times. But then the 100th time, boom, the truck hits you. And the whole thing just crashes. So do yourself a favor and don't compromise with this. Okay? I'm here teaching you this class because I made all the mistakes that are in this book, and also the mistakes that are not in the book. I also made them. So I paid the price in the School of Hard Knocks. That's why I'm here talking to you, sharing my little stories here, so that you can extract the principle and apply due diligence. Next.
Sound spiritual practice. Consistently, good sadhana is an essential source of strength, inspiration, and character development.
For the in your student handbook, what does it say? For the
book distributor, and should not be neglected.
Okay. Thank you. I think we all agree on this. You did Bhakti Priya Bhagavad Maharaj's course, right? So I think we understood that. Huh? Sometimes there is this idea that we should just work more and don't worry about sadhana, don't worry about study, just go out and do marathon. Have you heard that idea? Yeah? Do you like that idea? No? Why not? I mean, so much more time, right? Why waste 2 hours for chanting? Why waste 1 hour for reading? That's 3 hours. You could do so much more books. Huh? Not sustainable. If it's not sustainable, it means it won't sustain. And you won't sustain, and your project will not sustain. Everything will just be gone. Okay? Good. You did your homework. You paid attention in Maharaj's class. I'm glad. All right, we're not going to get into the details. Regular study.
Book distributors should be conversant with Srila Prabhupada's books through regular study and should thus become expert in presenting and selling books on their own merit.
Are you all reading Prabhupada's books every day? Do you have a plan for reading? Because whenever never happens. Did you notice? When you say, I'll do this whenever never happens. I'll clean up my ashram whenever. It never happens. You got to have a plan. And you have to follow up on your plan. Do you have a plan for reading? If not, today you have to make a plan. Like I read every day when I get up before I chant japa. 20 minutes, half hour, must. And then during the day also I try to get in another half hour to an hour. So in this way I know I got enough gas in the tank so I can actually survive. Also, people oftentimes, when they meet us, have you noticed? You give them the book, and they already have their wallet out, and they look at the book, and they look at you, and they look at the book, and they look at you. Have you seen this situation? And they go back and forth, right? And if the two don't match, they give the book back and put the wallet back, and they walk away. Sometimes people say, I like the book, I want the book, but I'm not going to buy it from you because I don't like the way how you talk to me or the way how you dealt or this or that. Or just Krishna told them, nah, this guy, nah, don't take it. He's a cheater, he wants your money. Now why would Krishna tell a person not to buy the book? Any idea? Why would this happen? Microphone. I mean, we're working for Krishna, right? So why would he work against us? We're the good guys, right?
He's not working against us, he's working for us because he wants us to be humble and in the right mood.
So that means?
That means we need to work on ourselves first, before you present.
That means tough love means Krishna loves you actually.
Yes.
He wants you to come closer to him and teach you a few lessons. And that's why he's creating this scenario. Sometimes people come and bring books back. Have you had that experience? Yeah? Okay, we'll talk more about these scenarios later on. But regular study, the main problem here, thank you, is if I'm telling you to do something that I'm not doing myself, that makes me a hypocrite. And a hypocrite is pretty much the worst insult you can give anybody. People nowadays are not patient, they're not studious, they're not that deep, they're not that elevated or austere, and they don't listen very well, but they observe very closely. And they're allergic, they're averse to hypocrisy. When they see us not walking the talk, not doing what we are preaching, they get very upset, they get very angry. Have you noticed situations like that? Huh? So, for that, we have to really be in tune, in touch with our own Siddhanta. That means we got to study the books every day. And then in this way, it will be much more impactful when we preach and when we want to share this message. Next.
Harmony with other services. A mature book distributor appreciates the value of each devotee and their unique contribution and comprehends how all services are interdependent.
Any example where this is being done in any of the projects where you've been serving? Yes.
Actually, there is one book distributor head in our temple, and he always says that whatever book distribution being done, that is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So he encourages the other devotees, and also he appreciates the devotees this way. And although he's a big doctor, but he many times he felt that although whole day book distribution is not done, then at the end of the day, by the Srila Prabhupada mercy, somehow been distributed. They themselves come on contact with the devotees.
Okay, that's a nice point, but harmony with other services, what we're looking for is harmony between the different departments, between the different services in a temple. Yes.
Like we have book distribution team, and they come on the festivals and help in other services also.
Okay.
When there is need in the temple, they come for the services. They are not just fanatic about book distribution.
So they're not just separatists.
Yeah, they come for.
They're
other
not just the elite team. We can only do books. We don't touch anything else.
Yeah, not like that.
But they're just regular devotees who happen to be book distributors, but they're happy to serve in whichever capacity is necessary when the occasion arises. Thank you. Has this ever been a problem?
Yes.
Has it ever caused friction and tension? Have you heard of Radha Damodar? Biggest book distribution operation in the history of ISKCON. Was led up by a few sannyasis. They did wonderful work. They had dozens of vans. At some point, hundreds of devotees who went out. Prabhupada stopped it at one point. Why? Because they were going into temples and they were just hijacking people from everywhere. They were just kidnapping people. You know, brahmacharis, grihastas, anybody. They said, temple is Maya, this is all Maya, you know, family life is Maya. You have to just, and they literally, they took people out, they took resources, they just, anything goes. And it got such a tense situation that Prabhupada just stopped the whole thing, and he told the leader that can't go on like this. You have to stop, you have to do something else. Huh? You heard that story before? Yeah? Sometimes in the name of doing service, we can also do disservice. Sometimes in the name of doing service, you can also do disservice. Like you can step on other people. Huh? Has this ever happened? Have you ever noticed that? In the name of doing service, you stepped on other people and disservice got created in the name of service. Huh? So we have to be aware of that, to always keep in mind that harmony amongst other services, otherwise people will feel discouraged. Huh? If, everything just for the book distributors, but what about the other, you know? What about Harinam? What about youth preaching? What about cow protection? What about Gurukul? These are all important parts, important aspects. If we start neglecting one part, it will cost us dearly. Huh? You've seen how much trouble was created when we neglected Gurukuls, right? The students. Not just legally and financially, but more in terms of, you know, the grief and having lost entire generations of youth because of not giving proper care, proper emphasis, not enough balance. Yes, we were doing the books. Yes, we were doing the collection. Yes, we were worshipping the deities, but we did not take proper care of other parts. So as a leader, your main service is balance. You can write that in big capitals. Balance, harmony between the different departments. Because every department will fight for resources, will fight for manpower, will fight for money. Huh? And your duty as a leader is to keep balance, to keep things in proper perspective. Yes, during marathon, everybody out. But then throughout the year, you have to balance things out so that things can grow in an organic way. Otherwise, you end up with an entity that has such a big head, and then it's got little tiny skinny legs. Huh? I mean, you've drawn all these, you've seen all these caricature pictures, right? There's something out of balance, out of whack. So you have to have a healthy body. Okay, last point, and we're up for the break.
Systematic training and education. Systematic training and education is essential in equipping the devotees engaged in book distribution with knowledge of the subject, B, necessary skills to perform that service, C, values and attitudes consistent with a representative of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you. I joined in 84. We didn't have Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, any of that. I took Bhakti Shastri in 2009. That's 25 years after I joined ISKCON. I've read the books more than a dozen times. I knew what was in there, but we never sat down and had formal courses and passed examinations, etc. So we knew how to distribute books, but we didn't learn deity worship, we didn't learn cooking, we didn't learn many other things, playing instruments, because we're book distributors. But fast forward a few years, all of a sudden you have a preaching center, you're a leader of a congregation, and people look towards you for answers, and you just don't know about all these different important aspects of Krishna consciousness. So I think you're well aware of the importance of systematic training in education. That's why we're here. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that ISKCON is an educational movement. It's a movement for causing a cultural revolution for the re-spiritualization of humanity at large. Culture. What does culture mean? What is part of culture? Give me some components of culture.
Culture is a part of. Culture consists of many elements. Like first is behavior of the people.
Okay.
And what we speak, what we do, our these sequential steps makes a culture and landscape.
Yes. If you hear, like this is the NVCC, right?
Yeah.
New Vedic Cultural Center. So culture is being communicated through what? Give me examples.
Well, lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Give me examples.
Like dressing sense, what is our eating habits, all these things.
Okay. Prasad, definitely. Yes. Yes.
What we give priority to, what we respect.
Okay. What do you give priority to? What we respect? Your
dress.
Your dress. What else? Your books.
Values.
Festivals, values. What about drama? What about art? What about music? What about...
That is expression of culture. That is an expression of culture.
Yes, yes, but that's how people actually can appreciate. Okay, very good. Thank you. So, Gayatri break, how long? 10 minutes. Before or after, please write on the whiteboard, and maybe after Gayatri, and somebody can just, do you have blue tag? You have blue tag? Pins, yeah. So please pin 4 sheets here, and then everybody can write down one of their expectations on this course. And no doubles, no duplicates, okay? Otherwise, no bhakti points. So, 10 past, we continue. This is Gayatri break time. And write